Gilbert calls me and says, hey, do you have any use for this? And so he sends me all these pictures right here of a bunch of motorcycle parts. And so I said, yeah. It is a 2001 XR200R. And really, man, it's in great shape. It doesn't have a ton of oil all over it where it's been leaking, and there's no telling. So that bike here is going to be a fun project. I think I'll enjoy that. All right, so today we are going to go ahead and start on this XR project right here. And as usual, the first thing we got to do on these little projects is clean it up. So get the pressure washer out, going to pressure wash down the bike. After looking at some of the stuff on this bike, there were a few things that were missing that I'm going to have to buy. So it did have this one side cover on it, which is great. But the other side over here, where the air filter is, does not have the cover on the side. And come to find out, this cover that goes here on this side actually bolts on, and it's the side cover for the air filter. The air filter on the inside of it's about 25 bucks. I looked up to see if I could find this cover by itself. Not available. I could buy 3 covers in a kit that had this cover on this side and this cover, and it was $100. Not going to do that. So I bought me a little small air filter that I can finagle and put in there. I'm just going to probably just not have any covers on the side. It did not have an ignition coil on it. It does have the ignition box there. It did not have the shifter fork down here. All that stuff's pretty cheap. Oh, it did not have a front fender either. And I bought a universal one for these Hondas, and it was about 30 bucks. So let's start washing this off. Right before I put these forks on there with that tire, I've got a couple of extra forks here. Might be the original ones. I'm going to take these boots off of here because they are a little better condition than these red ones. I like the red ones, the color better, but I'm just going to use these black ones. So let's put those on real quick first. Might want to fix that. That'd be kind of noisy, wouldn't it? Well, it's still really cattywampus in there. Maybe I can just try to bend that a little bit. See how that works. Then you adjust the chain tension. So these adjusters have numbers on them right here, and on both sides, and you got to put them both on the same number. As I tighten this, the chain is going to tighten up. 10. That's 10 there. No, one more is 10. Right there. Oh, wait, do I have that? Oh, I don't have the chain through the... Look at there. I didn't get the chain through the guide right there. Let's start over on that. It's got little O-rings on it right here. It's the same on both sides. I don't really know how tight that needs to be, but I think I'll start with that. Well, it's starting to look like a bike, huh? All right, let's take it off the old crate right there. It's got a kickstand on it as well. Nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the coil on it, put on a few of those parts that I got for it. Let's see if we can get it running. Probably need to take the carburetor off and take a look and see how dirty it is. But I don't really like not having that original side cover on this side, but it's just going to be out there in Perrin, cruising around, a little steel horse, really. So anyway, let's get started back on it. check for spark here real quick. Yep, got it. So let's see what happens when we just spray a little carburetor spray inside that carburetor and see if it'll kick over. Well, let's check the oil real quick. We need some. So I'm not real sure what this takes. I'll have to look it up. I'm going to change the oil after I hear it run anyway. But I've got a little spare 1540 Rotella. I'm just going to put in there real quick. There we go. So there's a little bit of issue with this Kickstarter. However, that mechanism ratchets in there. And that's going to involve pulling this case off. I'm not sure if I want to do that just yet. I'm going to see if I can live with it how it is. But let's take that carburetor. I'll take a look at it real quick. Oh, it's pretty clean. Good deal. So I won't bother recording this for you. On these here, I just find any orifice that I can clean out. I scrub off that float very carefully and get this residue off of it. Pull this main jet out and clean it all out. This here is a mixture screw adjustment. I will turn it all the way in until it stops and count how many that is, and then like 1.5 or 2 turns in, and then I'll take it out and clean all those passages out too. And I'll make sure that the needle, if it has a rubber tip on it, I'll make sure it's pretty soft and pliable. So we'll get back here in just a second. Alright, well, this carburetor was really easy to clean up, and all the passages were super clear. And I use a combination of some little brushes right here that I got in a little kit. I use my welding acetylene torch cleaners, and that really works well to get in some of these passages. And I've also got some guitar strings. Since I play the guitar, I've got spare strings all the time, and these work really well to clean out small passages. So it came super clean. Now when I took when I was taking the throttle slide out, I noticed that the throttle was pretty sticky on this thing, and after I took it off, it feels free. It returns easily. But I'm going to go ahead and take it apart and clean this, and put a little lube on the cable. And while I have this off, I'm going to be able to put this front brake handle on it. This is pretty rusty right here. Might have been part of why it wouldn't return. That's nice. There's just one way this will go on there. This idle screw right here has to hit that ramp, so it has to go in there just like that. Let's take this valve out of here and see how it looks. Oh, so that looks pretty good. Normally these little screens right here, they're broken all to pieces. So I'll spray that off with some carburetor spray. You can see that it's got two different inlets right here. When you have it just on the on position, it's pulling fuel from up here only. And then I think this is how it works. And then the rest of it, when it runs out of fuel there, you can put it on reserve, which pulls from the bottom, so that you can get some gas in it real quick instead of being stranded. Yeah, off, on, and reserve. Alright, let's see what I got in the way of fuel line. And maybe I'll put a little filter in there just for giggles, because I have some of those too. Oh, check this out. I'll show you where I got that. Okay, so I'm always working on weed eaters. And so I thought I'm going to make me a little kit that's got an assortment of these typical gaskets, you know, and the primer bulbs and so forth that go on weed eaters. And as I collected more and more stuff on that, I decided to take one of these trays that I have that goes over in those bins, and I filled it full of spare parts, valves, hose, fuel filters, you know, some clamps. I don't think I've got any fuel hose in here big enough for that fuel line, but you know, I do have some for that vent line. So let's grab, I'm going to use one of these little filters, and let's see what fuel line I can come up with. So that's going to be 1/4 inch, and I think that's 5/16. Oh, here's a piece of 1/4 inch that would work. Let's see if that fits it. Indeed it does. All right, perfect. Nice. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if the carburetor leaks when we turn the fuel on. All right, let's see if it'll run. We'll only run it for a second because it's loud. Actually, I think I'm going to slip the muffler on it real quick. All right, let's see if I can find a bolt for that. That might work, but I think that's too short. Well, let's try this one right here. Perfect. When you look at this, it's got a little bitty hole right here, probably pretty restrictive. And I do have an extra muffler that came with all this stuff. It is this one right here. And I think that came off of a CR Honda, CR125. And I think I can make it work on there. But for now, let's try to start it up right here. Ooh. Sounds like it's got a timing chain rattling. Something's rattling. Almost sounds like from right here. The timing chain, I believe, is on this side. Yeah, that's coming on this side. I'm gonna have to take that cover off. What carburetor works good? Ooh, that's rattly. That could be part of the clutch too, because the clutch is on that side. There's just no telling. All right, let's give it some thought here real quick. Oh, part's falling out. That's not good. Oh, the screws came loose. Oh, did that break? I think it broke right here. All right. So that, yeah, so I can see the 4 splines on that piece here. And I don't see, oh my goodness. All right. This must have stood off of there a little bit. But my goodness, where's the, where are those 3 screws go right there? Oh, look at this. Here's the back side of it. So it's like this. Okay, well, I don't know what that's made for, but we'll get online and see if I can find those parts. Get all this stuff down there. Yeah, well. All right, let's see if we can find a picture of all this stuff. Shouldn't be too hard. All right, so turns out I found this part right here that was all broken into pieces. It's called an oil slinger, and oil pressure comes in from the case on the side, and it comes through this little piece right here. And when it goes into this cavity that's on the end of the crankshaft, it spins around and it gathers stuff by centrifugal force on the outside. And it was full. This one here I bought off eBay for 30 bucks, and it was full of stuff. Let me see if I can find a little piece of what was in there. And it is just slime. It's grease and dirt. So it was doing its job. It was dirty. But I think after I gathered all these pieces out of here, that these 3 screws that hold this cover on right here, they came loose. The cover came off and broke into pieces when it did that. And when it finished breaking, it broke this outer part off of this hub. That's what we were hearing ticking. So I got all this all cleaned up, and let's put it back on the bike. So this little washer says outside, so we'll put that like that. The nut that is on here, it's a special, it's a special nut, and I already had the socket for that. It's the same socket for the clutch over here on the back side to take it off, and I had it from that 350X. So we'll put this on there, and you know what, I'm going to put some Loctite on there. Put a new little gasket on the inside of here. And these 3 screws are going to get some Loctite as well. Do not want those coming back off. This little piece right here is the compression release lever. It goes on the back side of the kick lever, and so when you're kicking it, it's releasing compression. So the spring goes on first, then there's a little bitty dot right there on that shaft, and that's going to line up with a dot on this right there. Yep, that's it right there. All right, let's see if that works. Yep. Oh, that sounds great. All right. So I think next let's put the air filter on it real quick. Oh, maybe I'll take it for a little test drive. right, well, that really runs good. I'll put the air filter on it, clean up my huge mess, and then we're going to head out to Perrin and ride it. All right, so we made it out to Perrin, and there's a couple of things I want to show you here real quick. I did put that other exhaust piece on there, and it wasn't really very hard. It was the same size on this end over here. I just had to heat the pipe up a little bit, bend it into position, and then take this bracket back here and move it back a little bit. And what else? Oh, and the air filter. So what I ended up doing the air filter is I got the original piece right here, and then I just mounted this onto the end of that. Pretty simple. So let's take it out for a little ride, and I'll show you the property. So you can just see that gate right over there. This is the very far northwest end of my property. I haven't been over there in a long time. This is a low point and the water washes down over here. That is a gas line exposed right there, but let's, I can see some deer tracks right through here. Let's pedal over there to that real quick. I haven't been over here in a long time either. In that direction is where the building is at. I've never been all the way through that area. And I recently cut this trail through here. This water flows from over here on the right, and it really flows down this area and runs off into his ponds. So there's a lot of washout right here. Don't really know how I can address that, even if I want to. I don't know. I'll show it to you. Right there. Look at that washout right there. Pretty thick over that way. Well, she runs great. She's a little tickety-tackety though. I did not adjust the valves. That's a pretty simple things to do, to adjust those rocker arms. It runs good. There's a couple of holes out there that in that tall grass I didn't see. That'll make you wipe out quickly. Well, guys, thanks a lot for coming along on this little journey on this bike. It's a fun little project. So I think I'll have a good time with it. If I get tired of it, I'll sell it. I do have a helmet that I will wear the next time I come out with it. But we appreciate you watching. And I don't take it lightly that you clicked on this video. Thanks a lot. We'll see you on the next one.